I'm Serfent Rolle. I'm the candidate for the Free National Movement in the Tall Pines constituency.
What specific moment or issue convinced you to move from private citizen to public office? And what change do you believe you can achieve as an MP that you could not achieve from outside the system?
It's been a series of different issues, different conversations that has prompted me to become involved or get in frontline politics. And one of the issues is voter apathy. There are a lot of persons that I speak to who are just tired of the status quo, who are tired of the two parties, and saying that there's no difference. I believe that there is a difference. I've been involved in the Free National Movement since I was a child, and I know that there's a distinct difference between us and the other parties. And so getting involved now is because I believe that people need hope. People need to see real change. People need to see real representation. And so that's why I'm involved. Instead of being someone to complain about the situation, someone just pointing and saying this is what should happen, I am here to make something happen. Well, from outside of the system, you're just an outsider looking in. I'm telling people that we can do things, we can make things happen. I'm telling them examples about the Free National Movement in the past, where we have affected change. Um, Now, getting involved, I will be a part of that. I will help drive and direct that change. I have confidence in my party, but I also believe that it's time to step to the front of the line and to be able to, in a coordinated, assisted effort, make things happen for the Bahamian people. And so, as a member of parliament, I believe that I can do more because of what I've seen and people that I've spoken to all across the Bahamas. I believe now is the time.
Beyond campaign promises, what in your professional or community record proves you can deliver real results for the people of this constituency?
Well, as an attorney and an advocate, I've been able to do quite a bit for persons professionally. I've heard so much about the things that happen in the public system, the private system, and I believe that my skill set, my talent, my educational background will lend itself to the actual philosophy that the Free National Movement has and has instilled in me and in so many others to bring about good progress and change for our people. And so, as a community advocate, you may not have seen me leading a particular organization, but I've been involved in many organizations from a child that have groomed me to be an advocate for the people, to be involved, to fundraise, to do all that needs to happen to ensure that those who have or feel as if they have a limited or a lessened voice, that they have somebody speaking for them. And so I remember when I was in junior achievement, we learned about business, but we also learned about how to care about the environment, how to go out and fundraise, how to go out there and do things and say things for positive initiatives. In the Duke of Edinburgh organization, I believe it's called the Governor General's Youth Awards program now, I learned about the environment. I learned about how to protect our environment, how to respect it. And so a lot of fundraising, again, was really a passion of mine. Advocacy in terms of written works, in terms of assisting, mobilizing, engineering, different positive initiatives.
What type of leadership and governance do you believe the Bahamas needs over the next decade? And how do you fit into that vision?
Over the next decade, the type of leadership the Bahamas needs is leadership that will bring rapid development, not just in terms of infrastructure, but in terms of actually delivering our promises, real promises that changes people's lives. There's some things that we believe are low-hanging fruit when people talk about minor or even major infrastructural works. Once we begin to work on those things and people see something happening and they can feel that there's real change happening on their doorstep, I believe that that's the type of leadership that we will definitely need, where people will actually see the development that has been promised, see the growth that has been promised, see the legislation that has been promised. I think people are just waiting for a government that brings real results to the people.
If elected, what are your top three priorities for your constituency and how would you realistically fund and implement them?
If elected, well, when elected, I do intend to do quite a number of things in the Tall Pines constituency. As I walk door to door in this very diverse constituency, it's a very large constituency. There are many different needs that people have that they speak of: infrastructural growth, development, is something that definitely needs to happen. I mean, as simple as street lighting. Um, Whatever it is, we will get the agencies, whether it's BPL, Ministry of Works, we will get them to bring attention and focus to actually making sure that maintenance and infrastructural works are done in the constituency. We may not be able to do it ourselves as the actual constituency team, but we can bring advocacy to the forefront. We can bring direction, coordination, help people with maintenance schedules, and we can continually do what needs to happen, which is in some instances simply just making telephone calls, sending emails, following up. We have to represent the people, and so we have to be their voice at all times, even when they're asleep. We have to be those people saying this hasn't been done. So we send another follow-up email. We nudge the minister responsible. We nudge the corporation chair responsible. We have to continually advocate, not just in the newspapers, not just in front of the camera, but even when people don't know what's going on, we need to be continuing to be that voice for them. And so some of the interesting things that people have told me about, like I said, is infrastructural works from street lights, street signs, potholes, speed bumps, then there's also the issue of dealing with crime. Um, Whilst we know we cannot completely eradicate crime, we can make an effort to lessen the effects of crime. And so we want to instill funding for neighborhood groups, crime watches. We want to have different mechanisms involved to increase people's awareness of how to remain safe. A lot of this can take place without a lot of funds. A lot of this can take place just by compiling the information and providing it to people. And so that's the first thing we want to do is we want to provide detailed information on how people can assist themselves, protect themselves, or how they can advocate for themselves and bring concerns to the areas. Entrepreneurship is another huge issue throughout the country, but definitely in Tall Pines. I've knocked on the doors. I've spoken to so many people who've started home businesses and small businesses, and they're doing pretty well. They just need quite a bit of assistance in going to the next level. And so infrastructural works, crime and safety, and also more support for business professionals, entrepreneurs, persons who want to just start on the business and get on the business ladder. We want to definitely give them the support that's needed. We have so many brilliant, like I said, persons in Tall Pines, so many bright ideas. Once we can give them a platform and the opportunities and the avenues to bring these to the forefront, we believe that they will do well.
Next question. If your party takes a position that you believe is harmful to your constituency, would you be willing to vote against your own party?
Certainly, I would be willing to vote against the position. I believe the position is what I would be voting against, and not necessarily my own party. And someone may say that's semantics, but I don't believe it is. Um, the position may change, the party won't. But the people in the constituency deserve to be represented by someone who has their best interest at heart and puts them and the country before their own partisan politics.
On major national issues like crime, cost of living, and healthcare, what is one bold decision you would support, even if it is politically unpopular?
But one of the things that may be politically unpopular for some people is capital punishment. I do think that we need to look at ways to deter criminals, especially violent criminals, and to protect the most vulnerable in society. So I believe that reform of our penal code and the system is definitely something that we should look at. It may be unpopular, some of the things, because when you talk about reform, you're not necessarily talking about, for instance, in murder, capital punishment itself. There may be other ways that we discuss rehabilitation of the offender and whatnot. Those things may not be so popular in our culture today, but I believe it is something that we should discuss. And so there needs to be a greater discussion on crime, the cost of living, another thing. I believe that there's some things that we should do when we talk about the costs of living that may be unpopular in terms of protecting the most vulnerable again in society. I believe that there should be more grants, there should be more relief efforts for social services. And there may be some in our society that may think people need to carry their own weight. But I think that we need to make those unpopular decisions to protect the most vulnerable in our society so that they can actually come to the level that we need them to be productive members of society.
Last question. In one clear sentence, tell voters exactly why you deserve their vote and how you want to be remembered in this race. No campaign slogan.
Mhm. Well, I believe that I will work hard for the voters' confidence and their support. I believe that they deserve somebody who is not concerned simply about party, but concerned about them and the country. I believe in legacy. I believe in mapping out a good route for other persons to have just as good a life as I have had, or even better. And I believe that I will work as hard as I can, and God will enable me to do that. And so I believe that they should trust me um, with their vote and their support because I'm willing to listen to them and then actually do the things that are necessary to make the community rise to the next level.
Okay. We have one more thing to do. This is for our digital product. So what we're going to do is
That's my phone.
you're going to
Okay.
you're going to pick a so there's nine of the major issues impacting the Bahamas now based on what our eyewitness news viewers think. And you're going to put your hand in a bag and pick one, and you have 1 minute to tell us if you are elected, what is your position on the issue, or how will you handle it, and you're going to be timed. Wait, we have to record you from the moment you put your hand in the bag to yes.
So I pick an issue and I do what?
And you're going to tell us in 1 minute, as a member of parliament, as a member of the government, how would you address the issue? What's your position on the issue? Are you ready?
What's my position on the issue? How I would address it, essentially. Okay.
Essentially.
All right.
And you have 1 minute.
Okay.
Okay, wait. Okay, and you can pick now.
Okay. Bath and Body Works. Bye. So this could clean me up. I'll just take this one right here.
Show it to the camera.
Poaching.
Wow.
Poaching.
Wow.
Okay.
Okay. 1 second. Gotta start the camera. Ready? Okay. So when you answer, you can look at me. And let's ready. And go.
Well, I got poaching as my topic to discuss, and I guess this is pretty relevant considering that there was a recent video going around with regard to some individuals reportedly poaching in Bahamian waters. I believe it is one of the greatest offenses to our country. Um, I believe that we should be protecting our waters. Um, we should be protecting it not just for the marine industry. I believe that we should be protecting it because poachers in our country are committing a crime, number one. But then the next thing about it is we find that these poachers will do anything that it takes to take whatever they need to take from us. To address poaching, I believe we should do what is currently on the books, which is to enforce the law, to give the defense force and the police and all of those who are tasked with protecting our borders and our industries and our resources, give them the tools and resources that they need to ensure that Bahamians and Bahamian marine life is protected. The industry is very vulnerable. We know we have a closed season for the lobster crawfish season. We know that we have a season with regard to the Nassau grouper. Bahamians are trying to make a better way of life. And so if they can do that, we have to ensure that the government is using all of its resources to protect them, to support them, and to ensure that once they're compliant with the law, that we will indeed protect our resources for them. To address it, we just need a lot more information internally and externally. We need to let persons know in those countries that poach in Bahamian waters, whether it be to the north of us or to the south of us. We need to let them know through different educational exercises, through their government, and through whatever media we can. Don't come here to poach. Don't come in our waters, because we're serious about dealing with you. We're serious about dealing with whatever boats, whatever equipment you use. We're going to confiscate it. We're going to destroy it, whatever it is.